G'day, Armand Star. I've seen you've posted a message about winning or coming third in yesterday's daily. I was still doing the daily at the point. I'd had to pause and walk away. I'm just on floor 5 now. I'm not actually sure that my score is going to upload because the daily is probably timed out. But this is floor 5 at the moment, so I'm hoping recording from this point forward for you might give you an idea. If you've got third, I think most people I think there were 2 or 3 people that had reached floor 7 from memory. I think maybe not. I think it was maybe Jeff, Jimmy, and someone else, I think, but I'm not 100% sure because obviously it's been a while ago since I looked. But if they've all reached floor 7 and then maybe you've beat one of them on floor 7, that's awesome. But I'm hoping, however I'm going to play from this point, might just give you a bit of an idea what I might still be doing slightly differently. So I just jump straight into talking. There's a caveat with the combo that I've got today. So this gives you an idea that I am playing Loki. But when you use this ability or this weapon, or even any ice weapon that freezes an enemy, poison actually counters that, because it's confused me recently where like you freeze something. I'll try and show you in this room, in the next room. I always use mana for the doors as well. I don't care about using a little bit of mana just to shoot it faster. It gives you more time. But when you actually freeze something, the poison counters it. And another dead end room. I don't take gods, as you can probably tell by this point. Because that's a connecting room further up, I'm going to take this room and then go back to the connecting room. I'm hoping that I've taken the order roughly in a decent way. So if this might be a good room to actually show you. So if I freeze this stuff, there's a bit of it down there, and then what I'll do is just poison it. And you can see it actually temporarily, they start moving again, so we'll freeze some more again, just to give you an idea. Hopefully I won't die, and I'm not too worried about the drops or anything at this point, but you can see they slightly do move when you hit them with poison after you've frozen them, so that's a huge, I'm guessing it wasn't intended behavior at all, but it's something that's currently in the game now, so it's something to be aware of, because it happened to me a few times. I'm like, why are they moving? Or like, why are skeletons throwing swords at me? Obviously it's not today I've noticed, but I've noticed again, because it's something you sort of forget until you need it. And the more you come across it, the more you'll remember. But yeah, that's a huge trick with this weapon. This is really good. There was a potion down there, which I'll go back and get. So I basically just play the game as fast as I can. I don't think I've got sound on today, or maybe I did have sound on and pausing for as long as I did turn the sound off. I honestly don't think my score is going to upload at this point. Like I genuinely don't believe that, and I'm not playing to upload the score. I'm just trying to play so if you've got further, it might give you an idea what I did differently. I did get lucky with 2 of these early on. One was in a secret, and I picked one, or you had to pick one. And I hate this card. These are nice, and that's nice, and so is the torture with the freezing weapon. So, and with the wand. So all of these weapons at the moment are benefited by this one. So there's nothing special I've got or anything at this point. It's a pretty straightforward run. I'm just trying to smash it out for time. I try and let all the drops go down to the bottom and finish other stuff off. I should have recorded earlier, because when I came back to start playing, I was on floor 2, and I was getting really annoyed because I'm like, I freeze this, and then I poison this, and then it moves, and I was getting really annoyed. So what I ended up doing is I'll freeze this enemy, and then I'll go and kill this one with poison, and that way they're not unfreezing and you're not taking damage or anything. You're able to fully kill one with frozen, and then kill the other. This is before I got this spell. This spell's a really nice spell. I actually kept this spell, which might be a big difference today. I kept this over the Bloodlust needles, which I was offered just before the carrot. I went and refilled them on the carrot to get full mana before I took the carrot boss, which is something I might actually go back and show you now. I think, because I'm at the start of a floor. So yeah, I can even go back and show. Oh, that's not good, and I've missed that shot as well. Alright, so I'm still getting shot a lot. Don't want to keep getting shot by this stuff, so I'm going to try and let this demon guy come to me a little bit, now freeze him, and now I'm just going to spam him, hoping I can kill him completely with frozen, because if I started shooting him with poison, then the poison is going to allow some bullets to come through, which isn't what you want. I'll try and show you again here. So if you shoot this thing with poison, I don't know why he's not poisoning. There you go. You could sort of see a bullet, but it was a bit too late, I think. I'll try the other guy. I don't think these guys... There you go. You can see him moving slightly because of the poison. Now, if you just freeze him, he wouldn't move at all. Like, he'd be stuck like that until he unfroze. So the poison definitely is a huge counter. I want to go back, though, and show you the... I'll end up showing you in a minute as I come back around to it. Hopefully. I mean, for me, floor 5 is a home run floor. Unless there's one room that's just a very unlucky room, this is pretty much almost a guarantee. There's usually 1 or 2 hard rooms on floor 5, but usually you get enough health and mana recovery in the other rooms to make up for it. So floor 5 at this point for me in the daily is pretty much a home run floor. This would be a room that's actually... It makes it a bit more challenging because you've got a few of these things out. So I'm going to try and freeze them for a little minute, and then I'll focus on this one for a second. I'm just standing on the ledge because that way the bullets can't all come up. And now these things are about to unfreeze. I'll try and freeze them again, and then I'll finish this one off, and then I'll run back to the other one. It is a good habit to get into, to kill stuff in like an even spattering. So that was pretty bad what I did just there. I'll go and pick this up while it's dropped. If you can kill stuff evenly, like I like to kill all the obelisks around the same time, that way everything in the room that's nearly dead is going to be dead by the time you kill it. It's not going to respawn. Whereas if you kill them one after the other, often stuff can respawn quite badly, and you got to end up killing a whole bunch more stuff, which adds a whole bunch more time to the game time, and that's what I go for as far as trying to do really, really well score-wise and all of that. I'm always playing for speed. Not always, but I'm not always playing for mana or anything either. Usually you'll find the way I play, so there was a few more. I wasn't sure if they were just the ones from that or there was a few. So all I do here is really focus on the big ones. I try and loop around and make sure both take a bit of damage, and now I'll loop back around, and that way now all the little minions have sort of grouped a bit closer together, and you can just finish them all. But yeah, I try to, when I'm playing, I like every bullet coming from one direction. So I've got to turn this way, and I've already got the secret. So this will give you, hopefully this will be a straight boss. I'm not too sure. I think the blob was the first one, so I'm guessing it'll be the skull or the jumping guy. But I'm really not sure. Again, it was a while ago that I played the first floor. I am sorry as well if this does manage to upload. Oh, damn it. I wanted to show you that's my bad. I just, got stuck thinking about if the score is going to upload, because I paused. I got a chance to play it just before the daily ended this morning. I completed one floor, and then I got called into some work stuff, so I didn't have a chance to play, and it's now 9:42 p.m, so it's 12, nearly 14 hours after the daily technically finished, yesterday's one, that I'm still technically playing. Now, if I was actually in the daily playing and I was just doing phenomenally wicked, that'd be awesome if it did upload, but it's well past, probably time where it did actually, or it should upload. But again, I'm still in the game, so I can understand it uploading. Rooms like this are a little bit harder. I tend to waste a lot of mana in them. However, because I'm guessing I've got the boss... Oh, there's 2 rooms, but one could be a secret or gods or something. So this is where I start trying to be a little bit reserving with mana. I like to have a bit of a spell going into it, but it also is floor 5, so the boss should be pretty much home run, and I could just, run around with the wand. So all I'm doing here is just trying to poison it all a little bit. I'll probably get a few spell drops. I'll use a bit of spell here. Want to try and focus on the green one a little bit more, but that's not really going to work. There's one spell that's dropped. So I'll just run in and dive. A bit risky doing that, but I'm getting mana from, not mana, health. I think mana as well from the knowledge gems. So not too concerning, to be honest. This was pretty straightforward fight, but the trick is, you can see I'm just circling. But I want to show you, so I'm hoping this was a spell. Okay, it is. So because I've got only a little bit of spell missing, if I pick this up, it refills. Doesn't refill at all though, so say I use spell now, you can see a little bit's missing, it won't refill it again. So you can get a little bit of refill per weapon that you pick up if you're missing it from that weapon. So sometimes at the start of a floor, you might notice that you've come across a spell that isn't too good, but you've already got one that's not too good. My advice there is don't pick it up and then go back and pick up the better one when you need the mana for it. Quite often before a boss, depends on the daily, but quite often you can get just a tiny bit more mana for a boss fight, and that can just make it a little bit easier. You've got a little bit more, but again, if they're both bad weapons or they're both really good weapons, don't take it straight away. Go back and pick it up in, when you need some mana, because I can almost guarantee in almost every daily, at some point you'll be missing a bit of mana for that specific mana pool. Even if you've got auto regen mana refill on, like maxed out on every single pool, there'll probably still be one room where you use a ton of it and it hasn't refilled all the way. So refilling it just before the boss, or as you have to run back, so you can see I cleared all this, I have to run back through here anyway, which is a good chance to pick it up then. So that's a big helpful tip, like really helpful tip there, as far as use the mana as you need it, not before. I am also just going to use the shit out of this one. I don't really care. Should poison him. This is where you try and play a little bit faster, so you constantly have him poisoned, and that way he's going to keep taking damage. Even if it's only micro, it might just save you 1 or 2 shots at the end. And I'm just guessing when the poison is going to run out, or probably overfiring the poison a little bit, just so it's done. He's going to run out of poison again now, but I'm just going to finish him because I'm close to finishing him. He didn't run out, actually. That was lucky. Not lucky, well played. So as you can see, floor 5 for me is pretty home run. Never really a big concern. Floor 6 is a bit different. I always skip this screen as well. I just skip straight through them. Either way, for me, this will give me an idea of where I was at time-wise, score-wise, as far as the daily went. So that's another example here where that's dropped. I don't like that at all, but I'm going to not pick it up straight away just to see what it is, because I can probably come back to it. This is a risky room. I've died a lot of times in this room. What I tend to do if it's just carrots like this, I just hunker down and let them all come to me and just block off their paths. Because that way all the drops are sort of dropping in one spot or a couple of spots, and you're not really going to take too much damage or lose too many drops. I have to just keep running around the room like an idiot. Unfortunately, there's a lot of carrots still yet to spawn in. That was a little bit dumb. Yeah, if you've got the perk that allows you to pick up things from a greater distance, it'll actually allow you to pick up things within the ice without having to touch the ice. So that's actually a handy one when you've got this ice grenade. Again, gods, you can see how fast I'm just immediately, nope, I don't like gods. Sometimes you take them if, everyone's having amazing days that don't normally have amazing days or something like that, but generally speaking, secret, I check the secret straight away, no secret there. I don't think this is a door, so now it's just, that's also a door, so no secret in this room, which means now all I do is focus on killing everything. And the reason I check the secret usually straight away, and especially in small rooms like this on all the walls, is it allows you to just run through the room at the end. You don't have to double check the walls. If there is a secret, you can shoot it out and know that you're probably going to get some mana drop back for it. Not mana from the door, but mana from, like you can see a green thing was there a second ago. So any mana that you waste shooting it out is going to save you having to go slowly and shoot it with a wand, or it's going to save you shooting it out with a weapon at the end and not getting any mana back at all when your mana might have all been full, and you could have shot it out with the mana 3 times over during the fight, or like during this fight now, but you chose not to because you were waiting. I love Scavenger. That's probably my favourite perk in the game. Just drops more health, more mana, and mana and health are key to victory. So there's a lot of stuff still in here, so I'm just going to poison it all. This is where I like to try and not waste too much more mana for the spell, because I don't know what's coming up on this floor. So just going to try and poison all of this stuff a little bit again. And yep, that died. Pick up the health. And when you come to the close of a room as well, you really don't want to be taking health damage now. Like just there I took damage, but you really don't want to. If you can avoid it, try not to. I play a little bit too aggressively and often do take damage just because, troll-a-lol-a-lol. But try not to. And it's super handy if you don't, because then you're going to go into the next room full health and usually with a bit more mana as well. Sweet. So what I'm going to do here is go this way first, because all the rooms were this way, and I just have a feeling, like I'm just basing it on feeling, that we're going to have to come back the other way anyway. Maybe not. Maybe this will turn out to be the long way. So I've just checked all the walls there. So these 2 walls and these 2 walls. Usually you can see with a little bit of peripheral vision, but also with a little bit of looking. I ran the wrong way then, but that was okay because I got to check the walls for the secrets. I'm also checking the wall here for the secrets. No. Made it hard because it was blurry, and no. So I don't think there's any secrets in this one. I think it can be in the middle in this one. Oh no, it's the longer room. But sometimes you can get secrets in slightly more unusual spots. I also find this brown texture wall a lot harder to see them on by default, and I've missed the secret. Not missed it, but I have a tendency, if I'm going to miss seeing it, it's usually on this brown wall texture. Not always, but more often than not. So I pay a little bit more attention, or really try to focus on seeing the secret in this specific room, these specific themes, or whatever you'd like to call them, because for me it's the one that I don't see as easily. Alright, so all I've been trying to do here is just freeze everything. Another reason I don't like this grenade, it's really good at slowing down the game and freezing stuff, but it also is really bad, because like by now I could have killed this whole room depending on if I had another weapon or something, but all this grenade does is really slow stuff down and allow you time to move around, pick up drops, and basically just wait. It's a damage slow weapon, whereas if 2 shots from this would normally be dead if it was any kind of other weapon. So that's okay. Got a little bit lucky with the dodge. So I am just going to check the wall up the end here, which it's not. And now check that wall, and I do this by default just all the time. I've checked that wall there, this one, and I didn't check this one because there was an enemy, and the reason I didn't check it is I would rather have been able to come back and have a clear look at it, as opposed to just trying to have a look at it and probably taking some damage. I like to have a really good clear look at the walls. Also pausing up there then allowed all that stuff to group. I took a lot of sword damage just then, that was very silly, which allows me to just freeze all of this and do a lot of area damage at once. I would like to get the score goblet, but there's no point. Great for score, but there's no point in losing health often, and I managed to come back and pick it up just before it disappeared anyway. So with the objects that disappear, the order is knowledge gems. No, sorry, score goblets, knowledge gems, and mana. No, score goblets, knowledge gems, then mana and health. Or I forget. My apologies. I've probably said that wrong. Okay, so no secret here either. So I've got to go back this way. I worked it out once before, and I actually sat there and watched it all. I think it's the score goblets disappear really fast. Then I think it's and there's the secret. So I'll just shoot it out straight away, which just saves me now time. Like you can see, I shot it out so fast before anything had really even spawned in. So much faster to do. This is another room that's going to be very punishing. So what I'm going to do is just try and freeze this stuff in advance of it unfreezing itself, and I'm going to loop back this way. That way anything else that comes is just going to be frozen on this. But yeah, I'll let you see here actually, because I know score goblets are the first thing, but these are the next things, so we'll figure it out based on what's going to disappear first out of this group. I think it's the knowledge gems next, and then the health potions and mana at the same time. There you go. Oh, so knowledge gems are last, I think. It's hard to see, sorry. But you can work it out. They're all slightly different, but it's never, for me, it's never ever worth. I'll pick it all up and then we'll kill the last guy and we'll see what he drops. Hopefully he'll drop an abundance of stuff, or hopefully they'll both drop an abundance. Okay, so it's dropped 3, but it'll give you an idea what's going to disappear first. I'm sure it's the score goblets. Yep. And then I think it's the health potions and mana. And then the knowledge gems. Yep, so health potions, and I'm pretty sure mana as well. Or maybe mana and knowledge gems are together. Either way, I don't risk taking stuff if I'm going to take too much damage. I risk it normally, but depending on how much damage I feel I'm going to take. If I feel like I'm going to come out of it on about the same amount of health, I don't care. I'll risk it. But if I feel like I'm going to take too much damage, I'd rather lose a score goblet and an experience gem, and not be 40 points health lower for the next couple of rooms, which is super important. Okay, this is the witch. I actually thought this was going to be the plant. But this is okay. I would prefer the Bloodlust Needles now for this boss, but only because I don't have a lot of... she can do a lot of damage, and with the weapons I've got, she can... It becomes very difficult, this fight, with this weapon, especially when it's lower on mana. So what I'm trying to do here is make sure she stays poisoned, and I've got to finish her off fast enough that I can dodge these bullets. And she doesn't keep damaging me, because this is where this fight's really risky. I think this is the witch. No, that's her friend. Keeping an eye on the actual one that's doing the damage is pretty important, because it allows you to avoid the damage from the other ones, or keep them all killed. Unfortunately, I think I've taken too much damage in this fight already. I think. I'm stuck on something. I don't know what that was just there, but that is super dodgy, man. I think it was a witch that was spawning. That's horrible. If I die to that, I'm going to be really annoyed. And this is where you don't want to die at the end here either, because you can make a silly mistake like I've just probably done and die based on trying to kill it too fast, and I've got to dodge that one. Please die, love. And now I've still got to pick this stuff up because these bullets can still hit you at the end. So did alright there, considering I got stuck on something here, which was very dodgy. Anyway, so we'll take this as well. You know, you don't have a choice. But I'd skip this screen again. It's just a waste of time for me personally. Not terrible, but so I'm on 2,000 after the 6th floor. Sorry, 2,000, 2 million. But yeah, if it uploads, it would be nice that it still uploads, but I don't expect it to. Okay, we'll take this straight away because I don't like the poison in general. And now I've got two weapons that are bad for each other, like the ice and the poison. I normally would run straight through this, but I don't have enough health at this point, and I want more health, and I've taken the wrong way, which is just unfortunate. It almost seems every time I go right, it is bad, and when I go left, it's always wanting me to go right, so I can just never get this one correct, which is unlucky, but that's alright. But yeah, you can see, normally if you get health or something from this anyway, you don't need it. Now that's a good weapon. Attract items for further distance. So this is the one that's handy, because you can use it on this grenade and you're not going to have to take damage from the grenade. But I've kept the grenade because the other one's great, but the problem with it is it's only good for a single enemy, and if I've been freezing groups of enemies, which I've been doing in this run, I'd rather something that can do a group of enemies, if that makes a little bit of sense. I'm only killing this stuff now because I've got the thing that allows me to get health back from all of that stuff. The health card, wherever it is. This one, Wrecking Ball. And you can see that refilled my health quite well. So this is another horrible room and a horrible room modifier. I've already checked those two walls for the secret. I've checked these two, but they're doors. I am basically now going to actually backtrack, because if I go down there I will lose too much health too fast and I will lose too much mana, and I'm going to backtrack again here and just focus on this one and just try and damage everything from a distance and let it all come to me. I've got really dodgy weapons, and the second I start getting hit I am going to lose too much mana. Yeah, way too much mana. So I've got to really kill it all before I get hit and not take too much damage. Alright. Gonna run up and do a bit of damage to it all, but you can see how much mana I just lost then from taking like a slight hit. Way too much. Way too much. And now I'm completely out of green, and this is where you don't want to end up having to fight this sort of room with a wand. Unfortunately, I think that card also doesn't take the mana. I think it takes it evenly from all the pools, not the ones that you've got the most in, which I've never really enjoyed. If I've got less wand mana, I would by default want it to take all the alchemy mana, because that way you've still got a bit in each. But It's not too bad. I've got mana drops dropping, and I've poisoned stuff. And because I poisoned it early on, it's now coming to me, and I don't have to spend as much time killing it. The second you've got mana in this sort of room, use it. Like you can see, I picked up the green, and I started using it nearly instantly, because otherwise you're going to take more damage again, and you're going to end up getting hurt. This might have actually been the room, I think, that a lot of people died in. Just based on, I think from memory, everyone died on floor 7. At least when I think I started playing it, I think everyone died on floor 7. So we'll get to know soonish, I guess. Rooms like this as well, without mana, can also lead back to... you might not die in this room, but you might die 3 rooms later because you've just not been able to recover any mana. So something like this now is like, try not to take damage, try to keep killing stuff before it hits you, but if you've got mana, probably still use it to take less damage, because if I sit here with the wand, there's a fairly good chance I'm going to keep getting hit. You can see how stuff's still hitting me, and there's still a lot of stuff to kill, and unfortunately it's also trickling in that, yeah, I'm going to take a lot of damage still. So I would rather use what mana I've got, which I've got a little bit of this one again. Just one shot's better than none, because right now I probably would have lost it again if that had have hit. I would have lost it there. And there's still something else coming in from the right, so still 3 enemies on the right. I just want it to focus bullets there so I can go back and pick this up. What I'm actually going to do here is, I've got very little mana in anything. I'm going to run out and get the high ground, and as we all know, now I can cut their arms off. Well, not quite, but you get the point. I don't even think they've got arms. What have they got, like giant flippers or something? But yeah, so that's how I would do. Oh, and there's still another one over that side. Yuck. This is how I would play this room, but normally I'm not narrating what I'm doing, and I've got now more of this again, so I'm going to use it. I've got it there, I'm going to use it, and I'm definitely going to try and poison him, so by the time he gets back to me, he's taken a little bit of damage. I'd rather them take a little bit of damage than none at all, because that way you've got less work on them, which is partly trying to kill everything evenly. I also, when I come back across here, I've still got to check this corner for the secret. So this is where I would prefer to finish over there. Like, I would prefer to run down and him to come back over here. So I'm actually going to try and do that, and just check the secret there. It isn't there. So I'll finish here and I'll go up and check this path out first. I like to try and, this is something I've been doing more recently, trying to finish where you want to finish in the room, because the enemies will come to you usually anyway. So if you can finish by a door that you want to finish by, it'll save you time looping back. This was unfortunate. I don't like any of these weapons at all for killing this stuff. It takes way too long. So this is what I was sort of meaning. It could be the fact that I've just had a room where I've now got no mana. I've then run into this kind of room, which is another useless room for killing this stuff. You can see how little damage this thing does. And then these sorts of rooms can contribute to your death. So floor 7, I'm not too sure what boss I'll be fighting now. But if I can make it to the boss. But this is where I would probably say at this point, if I can get enough mana recovered, it's probably going to be all good. But there's still a lot of stuff shooting me, and there's a lot of plant bullets, and they, unfortunately, will just destroy the shit out of you. And they've all spawned up one end, which makes it hard. And because they take poison damage, it means they'll keep unfreezing. So now I've got to make a decision to try and keep it all frozen and use no poison at all, and just shoot the shit out of this thing to get the health from it, which is going to be hard. So some health drop there. I got a little bit lucky. And unfortunately, I think now what's happened is plants have started spawning back at the other end, or I didn't kill them originally. But I've really got to focus all my energy on killing this to get the health. Why the health's dropping, I'm going to try and freeze some more plants again. I want to kill you because I'm sick of taking damage. There's more plants again up the other end. I'm going to run up here to try and at least nerf the bullets that are coming at me. And I'm not going to use poison. I'm just going to use frozen items on them. This is a really good one again because it allows me to get distance. I will use frozen on those things though, but I'm trying not to use frozen on the plants because then it unfreezes them. I actually had a funny feeling. That was a bug I noticed earlier. If I freeze the plant, so it's frozen, and then I use poison, it instantly unfreezes the plant permanently. I'll try and show you that now because I'm pretty sure that is a bug. So if I freeze the plant and then use poison on it, see, it's just unfrozen. And that's how I noticed it today, because I'm like, oh, that's right, I've got frozen and poison weapon. And what it means is I was shooting it, and then I'm like, because normally what you can do is when the plant's frozen, you can keep killing the plant. So I'll show you here. I'll kill these two, and then I'll go and show you on this other thing, which I think's already taken damage. No, it hasn't. Wonderful. So normally what happens is if you freeze the plant, you can just now sit here and shoot the shit out of it, shoot the shit out of it, shoot the shit out of it, and it can be constantly shot while it's frozen. However, if I freeze it again and shoot it with poison, it's completely unfrozen. Any damage you do to it while it's like that isn't counting. It's only slight poison damage. So that's actually a big bug. The poison does, I'd say it's a bug. The poison definitely does counter that. Which again is stuff that you're noticing 1,500 hours into the game. It's not stuff that you're gonna usually find early on. It does stuff like that. So the other cool thing is fire doesn't make these blobs move. So if you shoot them with the fire, like the fire alchemy weapon that dropped earlier in the run, the blobs don't move. They just sit in the fire. So that's quite handy for the blobs. But this weapon's pretty good against the blobs as well. But like I said, it's not my preferred weapon because it just makes the whole daily go tons slower than it really should have. But all I'm doing now is just trying to poison a lot of stuff so I don't have to spend a ton of time in the room. And we'll go and get any pickups that I've missed or any that have just dropped. I nearly shot myself with the wall there, so what I did is just kept turning further to shoot further, and that's popped open, so we will shoot it. There is a red skull here as well, which is annoying. There we go. I've managed to shoot the wall out as well, which is perfect. Really cool effect on this wall. While you've got enemies in the room, this does a really, really wicked thing. I'll freeze all of this. If you run right up to it, it goes to jelly. But, I forgot that. There's a sort of another bug where if you run up to the wall, the fire so if there's like little things with fire, like these torches up here, if they're in the room on the little like stilly things, the fire part doesn't move. So the rest of the room wobbles, including the poles that the fire's on, but the actual fire itself doesn't wobble. I noticed that in another run the other day, and I was like, that's very cool. The little things for me. It's the little things that make it, so phenomenally amazing. But just little things like that, man. After 1,500 hours, it's cool to notice. Like, you're like, yeah, that's how that works as well. Or, oh yeah, I didn't notice that before. But anyway, I'm hoping, I'm still cruising along. I am going to shoot all this because right now I don't need to come back here. And I mean, the chance of me losing too much health in the next couple of rooms and being on 1 health, it could happen. But I don't like to try and trigger this thing either. But I'd rather not have to come back and get the health. So I'd rather go into the room on full health and then just try and play a little bit more cautiously, as opposed to having to come back and then try and get health from this. So, and I had enough health missing that, it was justifiable to shoot that stuff out then, and I'm still missing some health. You can shoot out, these are the poles I was meaning. The top of them doesn't wobble, or the flame part doesn't wobble if you run up to that. When you're in the red thing, the secret, when you're standing in front of the secret. We've got a little bit of health missing, so I may as well shoot them as I run past. Got to run to the other corner anyway. Already got the secret, and it's just 2 rooms. I think I had the key card as well. Yeah. Horrible, dangerous room. Really, really horrible, dangerous room. Very much everyone could have died in that room. I'm going to take this one first. The other one, I'm guessing, might be the boss, which I would probably then by default take. But when you start reaching floor 7, you've actually got to start being a little bit more picky with, still doing an all clear, but try and not go and do an all clear just before the boss room. At least go and kill the boss, then clear everything. Otherwise, you could end up on no health and then the boss kills you, which might be what's happened today. I don't know what room killed people, and I'm not trying to be cocky. It might be different weapons people took, or the fact that they don't know that you can do that and then the poison unpoisons the plants, or things like that. So everyone obviously plays differently, and I quite genuinely, there's 2 or 3 rooms in this thing that could have killed everybody. Maybe they took that 2 hard rooms, and then this was the room that just was enough to top everybody off. Like, it finished everybody off or something. Usually I would hope not in this room, because it's a pretty straightforward run around, try not to take poison damage, and it's pretty clear to clean out. It is the boss. Oh, it could have been the fire boss as well. Knowing it's the fire boss, I have an issue with him in general. I'm going to go and clear this room anyway, just for the extra points, because I could very much die to the fire boss myself. Skulls, and those things. So hard room, really hard room. And I say hard room because these things can just do so much damage in these little rooms, and when you got skulls that just keep peppering you, it's sort of you're gonna probably take a ton of damage in this room. So what I want to do is just kill it all as fast as I can. They're moving very fast. I want to try and get away from taking damage, but there's so many of them in here. I'm guessing this is the room that killed everybody, and then the boss. And unfortunately I've still got no weapons that I would like, if that makes sense, for these specific creatures. I like the ice weapon, and a red one. Yuck. Should have used my instincts and maybe gone the boss first, but I don't like the boss in general, and on floor 7 you can die to him. I'm guessing this is the room everybody died in, especially with the red one. I'm not moving fast enough for how I would like to play this room, and I also don't have enough weapons that are doing enough damage. I don't like poison. I hate stuff that takes time, and quite often on days where this weapon shows up, I will die early, or people will beat me by a light year because it is that bad. And they're still respawning. Oh my god. What I've got to try and do is get some of these pickups, because they're going to give me some health back, but not enough. I'm hoping he drops a ton of health. And this is now where I'm regretting that I've already shot out those, all that stuff, because this is where you could actually go back and shoot it all out and get the actual health back. So now I'm actually on a mission, and it'll give you an idea maybe of stuff you can shoot in the game to get health back. So we'll take this room as well. I could get all my health back just from this one. But yeah, that was a really hard room. With the weapons you've got, this weapon's potato against those things. This weapon's just slow as shit against them, and this one's just a slow firing weapon. So in a tight room like that, it very much can be how the runs end. All I'm trying to do here is kite this stuff as long as I can, trying to take no damage. So it's all going to be here, and I can just poison as much of it as possible at once. Or not poison, sorry. Freeze, and hopefully that'll allow me to recover some health, but I've lost more health because stuff is still spawning. Oh dear. I've barely gained any health in this room at all. That's terribly played. Oh, and of course you're up here as well. And I'm only halfway through, so yep, there is still stuff coming from the other side. That was nice. I've got a little bit of health back here. Hopefully poison you, freeze you, and get a little bit of health. And I'm guessing stuff is here it goes. If you played with sound, you'd probably be playing slightly differently. Oh, a lot of stuff there. So we'll freeze you, and we'll try and just run straight back past all of you to get that stuff that spawned up the top. 1 or 2 health points. I also got very, very lucky here with a level up. Getting a level up in somewhere like that is so lucky that it recovers some health. So that was just very lucky. Pure luck. So I still would prefer to go back and shoot out some more crates or barrels or shields or candles, because I feel I have lost too much health to win against this boss. I do not do well against this boss by default. Even on floor 2 or 3, he tends to spank me. So there's nothing in that room because there can't be. I don't think there's anything more. Oh yeah, there's candles in this room. So candles, books, more books, more candles. I might have enough health now to at least give him a good run for his money. You know, by the time I've finished all of these. So candles, and I don't think there was anything up this end. This is where, if you can, try not to run over stuff or shoot it out during fights, because it can end up, you know, getting you just a couple more points of health for a boss fight. So I forget exactly what was through this one. I don't think there was... I think I've already shot out the stuff in this one from memory, because I said, yeah, I have. So nothing there. No shields on the wall either. There's two sorts of things on the walls that you can shoot. There's shields and what look like skulls. The skulls don't come off the wall, so don't waste time trying to shoot them. I think I ran through that way, so we'll come back through the main part, which there's nothing to shoot anyway. And then I've already run both these ways, so I'm going to run this way anyway. Again, but it's not going to make any difference. Candles are shot out. Oh, wonderful, these rooms as well. These can be handy. When you run through these rooms originally, try and run through them to the side there's less stuff, because that way you can come back through them and kill a bit of stuff. You can also shoot this thing off. It's probably worth using a little bit of mana here to actually shoot it off. There you go, so it's worth 2, which isn't bad, like it's not terrible. But we'll go and take the boss now. I'm going to poison him straight away and then flick to this one and throw a heap of these on the ground to freeze his little guys, and then flick to this one. But yeah, it's going to be dicey, man. Really, really dicey. So if you've got past this, congratulations, well done. You've played very well. Even if you haven't got past this, you've still beat some really hard rooms. He, for some reason, has not spawned. There they go. Alright. So all I'm trying to do is keep poisoning stuff. I'm trying to stay up the top so nothing starts spawning down the bottom. I'm actually going to start using this one because I feel I'm doing enough damage to him. I'm going to try and keep up the top. Just freeze stuff now. I'm not too worried about I want to poison him, but not the little guys. So we'll keep trying to poison him. And I'm halfway through. I haven't taken a point of damage yet. Lucky, like, you know what I mean? Watch me die as I say this. So freeze that, freeze them. You can see these freeze things, they're really helpful against minions and stuff, so they are definitely worth... The grenade is definitely handy to win, but it makes gameplay, like a single daily can take 3 times as long as it would if I had another alchemy weapon at this point. This has actually gone pretty well, to be honest, this fight. I've lost a little bit more health than I would like to have, but I expected to lose more. I was probably paranoid for no reason for the extra health then, but that's not bad. So I'm pretty sure, unless somebody else played it really late, I've just beat everybody, because I've got to floor 8 on 2-7, 2-7-2. So unless anybody else beat that, I would say I probably would have won that daily if it had have uploaded, which it still might, but I don't think it will. I'm definitely taking this one straight away. So this is the shield on the wall that you can shoot off. The skulls on the wall you can't. There's also candles, like the candles up there, you can shoot out as well for extra health. But yeah, I'm not too concerned at this point either. Now, I mean, I'm probably going to die in this room just based on looking at this guy, but we'll see. This is where if I did lose health, I would shoot the shield off the wall straight away to try and get just a little bit back, because I'm guessing it's going to be a hard room. That's alright, we'll just go and freeze all of this stuff. Freeze it all. Whoops. So yeah, sorry Armand, man, if this does upload and you get pushed down to 4th. But like I said, it's now 10:18 at night, and I stopped playing this morning based on having to go and do some work. And I don't like doing that either. I absolutely hate having a split daily like this, but sometimes you can't help having to go. You know, life just happens that way. But I'll basically play the next one probably after I've had some food, to be honest. I'll probably, yeah, have some food and then play the other daily today. Alright, so he's frozen as well. So as you can see, all I'm trying to do is just take as less damage as possible. I flick between weapons quite a bit by default, without even looking at the mana. I just know if I flick between them all, I'm going to use a bit of each, which is good. But I also try and optimize stuff, like I'm trying to freeze these guys because they're going to keep doing a ton of damage if I don't. And while they're frozen, then I'll try and kill them. I don't think I've done enough to him. I did. Because that way you're not going to end up taking more damage after they're unfrozen. So that worked out quite well. Pretty straightforward. I get a little bit disappointed now as well, like, 'cause I'm like, if I did win the daily, it hasn't uploaded, or, you know, won't upload, probably, and if it does, there's probably nobody that's beat me. So at this point in the game, if I reach floor 8, I'm usually like, yeah, it's not that nobody beats me, people still beat me, but it's more like you tend to have had a good daily and other people might not have, so the competition's a lot less, especially if, like, today, most people had played when I looked at the thing. I think maybe it's the different daily I'm thinking of, or maybe I started this one way later than I thought I did. Oh, no. It's because this isn't today's daily. This is yesterday's daily. Yeah. No, I'm good with my brain capacity because I started this one just before it ended. Yeah, my bad. I was thinking. So yeah, that's why most people had played it already yesterday by the time I started it. So that meant, you know, looking at everyone, I'm like, there's probably no one, unless, you know, Dave played or somebody else played that could beat you. It's usually like, okay, now I'm just wasting my own time. Not wasting my time because I still really fucking love this game, but you just feel like you're not you're more annoyed, I guess, that everyone else is dead and you're sort of competing more against yourself, as opposed to the blue ones of these as well, really hard to kill. So I do tend to focus on them when they're by themselves, but when they're in a group I tend to focus on the other things, because that way you're only taking less damage overall, as opposed to focusing on the one that's got, you know, going to take 400 points when you could have killed all the other ones with the same 400 points of damage and then ended up taking less damage because you've only got to avoid one bullet, not 10. So things like that as well are pretty handy. I've also got a little bit lucky here where all this stuff's slowly coming over towards me. I don't have a lot of mana though, which is annoying. So all I'm trying to do is just poison it all. This is where if somebody does take the poison staff still, they could probably do better, because they could just poison everything, flick back and keep going. Whereas I would rather a staff that can destroy the shit out of an obelisk, as opposed to, you know, going, oh, I've poisoned everything and I'm plodding my way through the rooms. And like I said, especially now that the daily's probably not going to upload, it's not going to count, all of that sort of fun stuff. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to know about the game. Obviously, I still plan on playing this game for a long time to come. A long time to come, at least until the end of the year, because at that point I've played nearly every day of the year. I definitely missed a couple of days this month. I just had a few days off in a row, which is the first time I've done that. Normally I've had one day off, you know, every 3 weeks or something in the last few months, but I actually had a few days off in a row, I think twice this month, in July. And I'm not too sure where I'm sitting at win-wise in July either. I know I've beat myself last year for 120 wins. I'm over that now for the year, which is nice. But again, I didn't play a lot of days last year. It was a very horrible year, mixed wires, moving several times, all of that. So it would be nice to have 240 days, which is, you know, nearly 2/3 of the year. I would love that, but I think it's already gone past that. Like I'd have to win nearly every day for 2 months in a row to get close to being able to do that. And even then, I'd still need to win 2/3 of the following months, which is a lot of days to win. You know, when you have streaks of 5 days or 6 days in a row, they tend to be followed by periods of days where you don't do very well at all for a few days. So I would say at this point, I've also just seen the secret on the wall, by the way. I'd say at this point, but I'm not too focused on the secret because there are still so many skulls. And with the skulls, you don't want them to fall over the holes, because then you won't get all the experience from them. So did alright there. The reason I chose to do that was because the skulls, I'm getting experience and health from the knowledge gems anyway, so I can afford to take a bit of damage and then pick up a ton of the experience gems at once, and it'll sort of counteract all the damage I've taken. A little bit annoying. I'm frustrated by this room with all these skulls in it. Alright, we'll kill these two, and hopefully let this red one come to me. There we go. All I'm trying to do is kill it over ground so they don't fall into the hole. There we go. Away we go. And I've ended up by the door that I wanted to be at anyway, which was lucky. So I'm going to freeze this, and I'm not going to... I made a mistake there. So the mistake I made there was I missed the shot. I knew I was going to hit myself with it. I then tried to over-counter it too much, and I ended up missing everything, instead of it landing on the floor and doing a tiny bit of damage. So this is where I can now shoot these things, and you can see they're not unmoving until it becomes unfrozen. So I'll freeze it again. I can shoot the shit out of it with this staff, and it's not going to unfreeze like it does with the poison. So that is a huge, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a giant bug or anything, but it's a huge tip and trick that a lot of people probably genuinely don't know. The poison will unfreeze stuff, especially plants. It unfreezes other stuff, but it then refreezes it right away. I think what happens with the plants is it unfreezes them, then they close, so the code for the leaves closes, at which point it thinks it's safe, and it's unpoisonable again. So, or maybe there's a limit, you can only freeze it once per opening or something. Once that's done, it automatically ticks over and won't be frozen again. So either way, it's a fun little thing to know, and probably a helpful thing to know if you've got these combination of weapons, or a similar combination of freeze poison weapons, or even like the wand here, poison wand, and you can see it's unfrozen. So I can actually demonstrate here, right here for you. So if I freeze a plant and I shoot it with the poison, it's unfrozen. Like it's still frozen, but it's unfrozen. So I freeze it, shoot it with the poison, and now it's unfrozen and you can't do damage to it. But if I freeze a plant and shoot it with the staff, it's still taking damage, and I've killed it. So it doesn't unfreeze. But yeah, it's very fascinating with the poison that it does that. So that's a huge trick, or like tip, that, you know, I only am aware of when I've got that combination specifically. The poison, which I tend not to take in most runs anyway, because I'm not a fan of it, except the porcupine bomb. I love the porcupine bomb. But if you've got the porcupine bomb, you probably don't have this one, and it's pretty rare to have this one when something like bloodlust needles has come up that you would probably normally take over it. But there was the carrot boss, and I just felt this was going to do more damage. I don't even know if I knew the carrot boss was there, but whatever reason, I kept this this thing. Probably because the bloodlust needles had poison as well, and by that point I went, oh well, that's going to just sort of counteract this. And they take longer to fire, so that's nice. An amulet for a change. Now I don't know if this was the unlimited amulet. No, just a part of it. So I'm going to use it straight away just to recover the green. This one, which will mean I'll start recharging it straight away when I walk into another room and start killing enemies. Amulets I play a little bit weirdly with. I still haven't found the secret, but I feel like I've shot the secret out. I did, didn't I? I'm sure I shot the secret out. Which room was I in? It was one of the rooms. I've shot it out. This is where sometimes you shoot the secret out and you forget. Because I said, there it is. But oh, it was in the little caged room. So this room. I don't know why I was running to that one. It can never be in that room. This is where sometimes you shoot it but you forget. So this side. Oh, I didn't even shoot it. That's my bad. Yeah, because I was worried about all the skulls doing damage. And that's nice as well. More torture. So that'll help with the frozen stuff. And the poison, but poison there. Also, apologies as well if you have been watching this and the keys have been tapping quite loudly. I can't do anything about that. Mic and keyboard and all of that. I've got to get a proper arm for the microphone. I do just actually have to quickly pause though and check that I've still got hard drive space. This PC, yeah I do. Because I hadn't actually thought about that. I thought it was going to be, you know, a 20-minute run sort of thing from floor 5 onwards. But it turned out a lot longer than that. Well, that's alright. Alright, and it's nice to freeze that and kill it straight away because they're still frozen. I don't like these big guys, like, I mean, you know, they're fantastic as enemies and that, but I don't like the drops that they do, these little red guys, because you will end up taking a ton of damage, and these guys can hit you as well a lot, so I tend to jump around a lot with them, try and get them to fire one lot of bullets up and then one lot of bullets down, and that way you're not taking as much damage. And like right now where I don't need to be standing in the open taking damage, I'm going to try not to. Normally I'll run around, but these guys are a little bit different because they shoot so many bullets and such a big lot of bullets. That's actually quite cool. I've got, I think, 5 together. Alright, so it's all frozen quite a bit. I'm going to just try and damage it all. I'm going to use the E there, or the amulet. I'm going to try and freeze this again. Going to just run out for the pickups. Didn't really need them, but wanted any mana that was dropping. So sometimes for me, it's more about getting mana to make sure I've got mana to kill stuff as opposed to the actual experience. Quite often, more than not, it's the mana that I want. Again, because if you start getting consistently good at the game, what you'll notice is the mana is more important, and so is health. The experience, you're going to get to a floor anyway, and it's just another experience card or something that you'll get. Very rarely do cards alone carry you through a run. So if you can start playing well enough where that doesn't matter anymore, mana becomes the more important thing by far. Often even to health, because without mana you've not got stuff to shoot, and then you're not going to get health drops or more mana drops because you can't kill anything except with a wand. So mana is super important for me in this game, but so is health. But the experience drops, like these drops, like right now, if I kill all this stuff and then all like heaps more stuff spawn behind it, I would probably leave all the experience drops. I'm pretty close to a level up as well, so I might not, but I probably would, because I don't want to take too much more damage. I'm already pretty low on health. Like, for how much I've been in this room, I'm pretty low on the amount of health I've got. You know what I mean? Like, I want to leave this room on a lot of health, but unfortunately I've just sort of counted what I said, but that's okay. Freeze all of them, go back and pick up, there's still one undone. That's alright, he'll be frozen, and we'll freeze this guy, and we're good. Probably shouldn't have stood in that then, but that's okay. And we'll just check if there's nothing. There is more mana. I've already got the secret, so we've just got one thing to go. You can run on these ledges here as well, along the top, and you can do that on a few rooms that have got that sort of ledging system, which can be handy. Probably should have used the E in the rest of that room, but I'm going to use it here straight away. Probably going to regret it, but this is a hard boss, and I just have a funny feeling today he's going to be very hard. So maybe not. Maybe I got lucky. Very lucky. Very lucky. But I'm already out of... that was very painful. I'm already out of green. Very annoying. So I'm not really too worried at this point as far as winning this room. I'd like to do well, but I'm more just trying to not take too much damage, because I think I'm going to die in it anyway. So I'm just trying to make sure stuff's poisoned or frozen, and that all the enemies are sort of at one end, and I can then hopefully get this guy to come up to the other end. And I'm trying to focus on mana pickups and all that as well. Got a bit unlucky there. I think there was purple. There was purple rain. I wonder if that's actually a reference to Prince. Like, I'll have to ask the developer. Oh. I got hung up on, like, you know, purple rain so much. I didn't even, oh man, that was so silly. Like, I just ate an entire wall of purple. Partly because I started thinking of chocolate rain as well, and then I was like, yum, and then brain shut down. I had a brain fart. But yeah, so there you go. I'm on 3 million. I don't think it's going to upload. We'll see in a second. There are all my stats anyway, if you wanted to compare. Hall of Fame today, so you can see. Oh wow, it's another close day. Our man's done really well today. Holy shit. Beating Jimmy and Harambe is really good. Scarf Scar has been playing a little bit recently as well. He did really well the other day. Let's have a look. Oh, it did actually upload. Fucking amazing. I really didn't think it was going to. And I managed to beat Excotta. So these three had got to floor 7, and then I'm guessing Excotta's played after that. And yeah, I'm really surprised, because sometimes I've had a daily once before where I had to pause for a long time, and I came back and it didn't upload, like it never uploaded for the day. So I'm actually really happy that uploaded. That's really nice. So I'll try and upload this video for you now, so you can see what I've done maybe differently to the rest of you guys. And I'm just trying to compare, because these scores are pretty close. So 92 minutes, 900 enemies. 82 minutes, so 10 minutes faster, and nearly 100 more enemies. That's nearly exactly 100 more enemies. 8207, 9243. Yeah, wow. So 10 enemies in 100 minutes. No, 100 enemies in 10 minutes. 10 enemies in 100 minutes. Who wants to play that game? 46 rooms cleared, 130 items. 50 rooms cleared, so I cleared a few more rooms, and 152 items. 65,026 and 49,025. So he only took a slight bit less damage than me, but I guess that was those other couple of rooms. But anyway, so yeah, that's the daily. Sorry, Armand. I actually literally started recording when I saw your comment on Discord for the you got third. Well, maybe today, buddy. Maybe today. But to be fair, if Xcotter ends up playing, Dave ends up playing, and I end up playing, unless we get toasted, which very much could happen, I would say you could be third. I'd like to say you'd be second and you'll beat me, but I'm playing too consistently, I think, to be beaten. So maybe today's a third. But anyway, I hope this video helps some of you, or just you, Armand, or anybody that's watched that wanted to sort of see maybe what I'm doing differently. And I started from floor 5 recording, which hopefully has made it a lot shorter video, but probably not. It's still probably turned out to be an hour. But I started from floor 5 based on knowing from memory that everyone got to floor 7. Today everyone got to floor 7. I didn't actually realize a few of you guys got killed on floor 6, and Ali got killed on floor 5. So it's probably good that I started recording from floor 5, because that way all of you guys, if you want to watch it, are going to see what I did slightly differently. So yeah, best of luck on today's, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.